Right. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's Sunday is going good. Right. Today we're gonna carry on with the vocabulary session that we did. Today I have some more interesting words for you. Along with it, there will be a couple of informal words as well. Right. I will be telling you which one is formal, which one is informal, how we can make sentence. There is one or two phrasal verbs as well, which I have included in, and we'll do it along with the examples. Couple of how to use them. You can use it in your task too if you are preparing for IELTS or OET or TOEFL or any exam, right? So let's get started. Right, just put on part two because we have already done this before. Now, the first word we're going to do with you today is DAWDLE. The actual pronunciation of this word is Doddle. Right. So it simply say Doddle, right? Doddle. Whether it's British or American accent or thing, just simply you can sound like Doddle, right? Doddle. Now, what Doddle means? Doddle means you might have heard the word procrastinate. Procrastinate. Many of you have heard it already. Procrastinate means when you're delaying something, you're being lazy, right? You delay something. So that is me procrastinate. Similar means dawdle, right? Now, for example, I can make a sentence. Uh, let's say that you're waiting for someone, right? Some person is waiting for someone and just saying that I'm just gonna delay. I'm gonna be delaying calling some other person for some at some circumstance. So I can just make a sentence. For example, let's say I don't think I don't think she should dawdle anymore. So I don't think she should dawdle anymore, which means that I don't think she should delay anymore. She must make a phone call to her parents in order to pick her up to reach home safely. Right, so I don't think she should dawdle anymore. She must make a phone call to her parents in order to pick her up, right, to reach home safely. Right, I hope this one's clear. Dawdle, which means procrastinate. Similarly, procrastinate also you can use the word. Whether you're using in task or anything, this is the formal expression. Okay? So I don't think she should dawdle anymore. She must make a phone call to her parents in order to pick her up to reach home safely. Right? I hope that one's clear. Right. The next word which I'm going to do is with you. Just put down TRIFLING. Trifling. Not trifling. We have known many words for important, right? We speak about crucial, vital, pivotal, right, indispensable, and many things. There are many words, right? So, now trifling is not important. It's the opposite. So, unimportant, something unimportant. That is trifling. For example, let's make an example. Uh, just for a speaking expression, right? Frankly speaking, frankly speaking, I find this information quite trifling. So, like for example, you haven't shown any kind of evidence, maybe just some sort of paperwork, and you think that this is not significant, right? Remember, I'm not saying non-relevant. It's not irrelevant, right? I'm just saying that this piece of information is quite trifling, which means it's not important to me, right? Anywhere you want to say that this is important, this is not important for me. I don't need this. This is not significant, right? So for that, you can simply use the word trifling. Trifling means unimportant, not significant. Okay, you don't need to say that this is not trifling. Okay, you can't say that because trifling itself means unimportant. Right? I hope this one's clear. So, unimportant once again. Frankly speaking, I find this information quite trifling. I find this. I find this means that this information for me is unimportant. Right? I find this information quite trifling. Right? I hope understood. Now, let's move on to next. Right. Number three. Unduly. Unduly. The word unduly. Unduly means when you do something, right, and like you're not required to do certain things, right? So unnecessarily you do things, or like something we can say is needlessly, right? So that is it's L-E-S-S, right? Needlessly. That is what we known as unduly. From now on, whenever you need to say, like you are just doing it, there's nothing required needlessly, you need to do this. So over there, you can use the word unduly. How we can make a sentence? Let's make it. For example, let's say you are, you're studying, okay, and you've got a very minor, query to resolve. Now, every time you're calling your teacher, like whether you're doing WhatsApp or you're even doing a phone call for every small things. Now, obviously, we have Google also to source out like information. When you don't understand anything from internet, then only you can give a call to the teacher. Right? I'm not saying that regardless, you can make a phone call anytime, but still, sometimes unwantingly, we're just calling somebody. So needlessly, you don't need to call anyone needlessly, right? So let's make an example over there. How we can say, example, you don't need to call your teacher, right? You don't, uh, you don't need to call your teacher unduly. Now, many people, use this expression, this grammatical structure, if then, right? These are conditional grammatical structures. Similarly, when. With when also you can use when. When this, then this. Or also we can use should. Should this, then this. These three expressions, like these three are grammatical structures you can use at any time. So you don't need to call your teacher unduly, comma. Should you have any small query, refer Google for it. Right. So you don't need to call your teacher unduly. Should you have any small query, refer Google for it. Okay, I hope this one's clear. So unduly means needlessly. If in Hindi we say बिना वजह के, right? बिना वजह के आपको किसी को phone करने की जरूरत नहीं. So you don't need to call your teacher unduly. Should you have any small query, just refer to Google for it, right? One day I'll definitely be doing grammatical structures with you as well. So then in order to improve your basic speaking, and I don't think like, especially in my class, you don't need any grammar or anything. You all are good anyway. Right, so what words we did? We did 3 words today. First, which one was it? Just can we say? First one was Doddle, second trifling, and third unduly. Now let's start with the fourth. Number 4. Now, when we go to certain places, right, we normally say it's absolutely beautiful, it's amazing, right, it's mesmerizing, and we have also learned one more word, picturesque, right? Now, picturesque, mesmerizing, right, it's amazing, and all this stuff. Like we know many words, right? Now, there is particular word when we go to rural areas, like countryside, and we absolutely mesmerized with the beauty of how rural areas are. Now, what things we can come up with rural areas? Think about if anybody say, like, do you like to go to countryside? Oh, yes, absolutely. What for? Why? Because of various reasons. A, that there is no pollution. B, it's greenery. So for greenery, we can say it's lush green area, right? C, it represents what? Indigenous tradition, right? So there is many things. Now, there is one word which we can say just to represent the countryside area, right? The view of the countryside area, which is absolutely good. So that's one word we can do, that is known as bucolic. Bucolic. Bucolic means rural or countryside. Stop saying rural, anymore. That I come from a very rural area. Now, countryside is better. Now, obviously, you can also say I come from a bucolic area, known as this thing. Okay. Now, we can use bucolic for any word. Either I come from a bucolic area, that is the name of your village, right? Or you can also use bucolic for the view. Obviously, I love enjoying the countryside view. So, I love enjoying the bucolic view. Right? It is what? It is absolute picturesque. Right? Why? Because it's lush green area. Second point, what we can think of, right? If there is no pollution, so there is greenery, right? Obviously, no pollution, which means that think of the other side in order to extend your response. If you're saying that, okay, there's less pollution, so which means fresh air. What for? To breathe, right? Okay. So if there is fresh air to breathe, why? You can see stars at night? Yes, absolutely. Why? There is no smoke, right? Okay, great. So this is how you just keep extending your responses. What else did you find in countryside area? Obviously, you go to rural area. Do you get an opportunity to enjoy with others just like the way you do in rural area? If you're enjoying with the family members in city, do you think that's the same lifestyle you get to enjoy in rural areas? No, it's far better. Why? Because there is time for people to connect with each other. In cities, they don't because they're too much busy in the work. Right? So that's why, let's come back here. Bucolic, let's make an example. Now, bucolic, we can say, I always go on the weekends. I always like to go on weekends. Where? I always like to go. I always like to go on the weekends. Where do you want to go? To my town. Right? What for? Since what is? Since it still offers. What offers? It still offers bucolic view. It still offers bucolic view. With what? With no pollution, right? With no pollution, so as to breathe what? Fresh air. So as to breathe fresh air, then you can keep extend by saying and mesmerizing the, obviously, and mesmerizing the indigenous tradition. You can keep extend. This is how you can just keep taking your point over and over. Okay, I hope this one is clear. Bucolic. So bucolic means rural or countryside. Right? I always like to go on the weekends to my town since it still offers the bucolic view with no pollution so as to breathe fresh air. Right? I hope this one's clear. Fourth. Right. Now let's put number 5. Many of you might be knowing it's BUR, Burgeon. Burgeon, it's getting common word now. Burgeon means to increase rapidly. You know, like there's a rapid increase in something. So we can say, for example, here just write increasing rapidly. बहुत जल्दी से, तेज रफ्तार से कोई चीज बढ़नी. So gerund of this, burgeoning population is one of the, whenever, remember once again, whenever using one of the, right, one of the leading, S or ES has to come, one of the leading factors, not factor, one of the leading factors, right? Burgeoning population is one of the leading factors for gridlock that I encounter daily on Mumbai streets. So burgeoning population is one of the leading factors for gridlock that I encounter. So gridlock, traffic congestion, encounter, whenever I need to say the word face. Okay, experience, face, encounter. Okay, so burgeoning population is one of the leading factors. Again, one of my favorite hobbies, right? It is one of the reasons, right? One of my friends, because you are picking one out of many. It could be more than two or more than two, doesn't matter, right? We can't say he's one of my friend. So you have only friend and then one of that friend only. You can't cut your friend into 2, 3 pieces. Right. So burgeoning population is one of the leading factors for gridlock that are encountered daily on Mumbai streets. Now, whenever you're writing the city name, the first letter has to be capital. Remember, in writing anywhere, no matter you do task to any examination or anywhere, the city name, the country name, right? The first letter has to be capital only. Okay. I hope number 5 is clear. Burgeoning, burgeon. Now, number 6. Right on number 6. The number 6 word is, what do you do in your spare time? When I'm at home, I do some kind of household chores. Household chores. Now, chores is getting very famous. Household chores. Household chores. What is household chore? Chore is what? Your domestic hard work. It means that home, when you're doing household stuff, so obviously you're hardworking. It's not that you say that to the examiner in your IELTS speaking module, let's say that, what do you do in a spare time? Well, I do, I help my mother and help in some household chores. And, coming back to the reality, what do you really do? I sleep. right? Whenever I get some spare time, I hit the bed, right? Whenever I get some time, I hit the sack, same thing, right? So you go to sleep, but that's not true. It's basically household chores. Now, instead of chores, what else we can say? There's one very good word that is known as drudgery. D-R-U, right? Drudgery. D-R-U-G-E-R-Y. D-R-U-D-G-E-R-Y. It means hard work, labor work, right? You can also just write hard work, labor work, physical work, anything which involves hard work. That's it. That is drudgery. Right, now let's make a sentence. What do you do in your spare time? Well, honestly, what do you do? Honestly, I get myself, now what do you do? I get myself busy in domestic, domestic drudgery. Domestic means obviously your own. Now you're not doing internationally. You can say, obviously you can't say, well, honestly, I get myself busy in international drudgery. You can't look international. It's domestic, right? It's also pronounced. It's not domestic. Remember, domestic. It's domestic. Domestic, right? So only domestic drudgery, right? So number 6, what we did 3 last, bucolic, right? Then we did Bhajan, and then last we did drudgery. Okay, let's move ahead. Number 6 is done. Now number 7. Number 7, uh, I'm going to give you one phrasal verb, as I told you before. This phrasal verb, it's basically used in UK, right? It's informal. Remember, it's informal. I'm once again saying it's informal, which means you're not allowed to use, if you're IELTS student, you're not allowed to use it in your task 2, task 1, anywhere. Okay, it's informal. Now that is only in UK. Okay, but we just can understand, we can use it. I'm telling you. That means peg out. It is basically P-E-G-O-U-T, peg out. Now, peg out, I'm telling you again, it's informal. Phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs are also used just like vocabulary, right? They enhance your lexicons. Now, peg out means simple, die, right? Peg out means die. Now, we can make a sentence. Example, let's say, uh, he drank alcohol like a fish yesterday and tell you the truth, right? He drank alcohol like a fish yesterday and tell the truth, he seemed he seemed peg out to me. Okay? And frankly, to tell you the truth, he seemed peg out to me. So obviously he seemed to die. Right? So peg out means die. Another example we can make, it's not something like you have to make it with alcohol only, just because the word is peg, right? I don't wanna peg out while sitting in your car since you drive recklessly. Recklessly means you don't drive good, right? You drive very rash. So I don't want to peg out while sitting in your car since you drive recklessly, right? It's just a suggestion that a friend is giving to someone else. Okay, I hope this one's clear. Peg out means die. Only in UK. The way it's pronounced, peg up. I don't want to peg at night while sitting in your car because you drive it recklessly. Now 8. Let's say when you want to say to someone, you've been rude, you're very, impolite, right? So for that, there is one word you can say loutish, Loutish, loutish. Now loutish also means rude or impolite. Let's say, for example, these students have been expelled due to their loutish behavior. I don't like you because you're quite loutish. You're quite rude. Okay, so you can just speak, right? So loutish means rude, rude or impolite, right? When you want to say, oh, well, he sounds quite loutish, right? Loutish means rude or impolite. When you want to say anyone is rude, when someone is speaking and you say, yeah, oh my God, like you sound rude. That's rude. That's loutish, right? That's rude, right? So that's loutish. Okay. So example we have, these students have been expelled. Right? These students have been expelled due to their loutish behavior. I hope this one's clear. Number 9. Bane. Many of you already know this because I have been using this word a lot. My favorite. Bane means simple cause of trouble. We can also use for headache. Headache. When does headache come? When there is cause, like there is a reason. What is the reason of your headache, right? So, for example, in IELTS, if you get topic related to traffic congestion, remember your first line. There is no doubt, right? What is no doubt? That traffic congestion or gridlock, right? Gridlock. What has become? It has become bane. Traffic congestion has become. So we can say, for example, traffic congestion has become bane for many dwellers. Dwellers कौन हो गए? लोग. People living in the city. So city dwellers or dwellers just say, right? Traffic congestion has become bane for many dwellers. Bane, cause of trouble. Right? Traffic congestion has become cause of trouble for many dwellers. Daily commuters, that is also you can use. Traffic congestion has become bane for daily commuters. Right? That is also you can use. Okay, I hope this is clear. Bane, headache, like whatever like excessive use of mobile phones during this pandemic specifically has become excessive usage. Who is using? Children, right? So excessive usage of mobile phones by children is continuously becoming bane for parents at home. Right? Why? Because they are not focusing on to their studies, rather playing games. This is the main reason why parents have to stick to the child when he or she is studying. Right? I read a very funny meme 2 days ago. Apparently, it said that karma repeats itself. Now, how it was written, karma says that people who actually bunk their classes during their childhood are forced to sit with their children these days, just when they're studying online. So it's pretty good. Right, I hope this one's clear. Loutish, Bain. Now the last word. Since we have done Bain, there's one last word that comes matching to it. Many of you might already know this thing. And the word is boon. Boon means blessing, benefiting someone or something. Right? Like we all know mobile phones are boon. Right? It's a blessing. And in disguise, we can also make it an idiom. Right? Anyway, that idiom is blessing in disguise. I don't want to do it because that's only vocabulary session. We'll do idioms later. Boon means simple blessing, right? It's benefiting someone, right? So we can use, for example, computers. Computers. You know, computers. Are boon for us since they keep us connected with others. Computers, are computers, are boon for us since they keep us connected with others. Now we can just continue sentence. However, sometimes it becomes bane as well. Then we can just continue in the sense, that we can carry on. Right? So boon means blessing, right? Computers, are boon for us since they keep us connected with others. Or sometimes it becomes bane as well, right? Cause of trouble. Then we can just say that why it becomes cause of trouble. Okay, I hope this one is clear to you, all the words. So let's just quickly revise all the words that we did today. Now, starting from the last, boon, bane, loutish, peg out. Then what else we did? We did drudgery, burgeon, we did bucolic, unduly, trifling, and dawdle. Right? These 10 words we did today. I want you to make a couple of sentences on it. This week, definitely the students who are with me, I will be definitely listening to these words from you all. Okay. Try to make as much sentences as you can, and if there is any query, then obviously you can message me or call me. Okay. But as I said, when we say with a dawdle, you know the word. Okay. Well, that will be all for today, vocabulary session. And next Sunday, we'll start working on some idioms as well. Okay. Now, if you have any queries, then you can message us. All right. Thank you.